Hey everybody. So I know I haven't been doing YouTube in a while. I haven't streamed or done any war videos or anything like that. I've been really busy and I've got some personal stuff going on. But yeah, I wanted to make a video about this because I felt really inspired making this meta and I felt like it's something that's really interesting and I want to see how it plays out, and I wanted to share my ideas and the MVPs and tier list of champions that I think are going to be super successful here, both offensively and defensively, to maybe give people a head start on how to create a deck and have some fun with the first 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm just going to drop the whole entire tier list right here. If you want to take a screenshot, dip out, anything like that, go ahead. I don't really mind. But if you want to stick around and listen to why I made these metas and the decisions and thoughts I put behind them, or the, reason a champion like Deadpool X-Force is in the great tier, while a champion like Shuri is in the niche tier, then go ahead, hang out, grab a beer, grab a coffee, and let's chat. So, I'll start off by saying why season 14 is the way it is. I wanted to create a season that was based around damage over time and just see how it would play out. I wanted the first, victory track and gladiator circuit to be more fast-paced. I wanted people to, get in, get out, have fun, get the big dopamine rush of big yellow numbers, some crazy damage over time coming off of the special attacks. And I wanted the second one to be more meticulous, more slow, more focused on, staying in a fight for a decent amount of time and playing well and letting those red numbers take them all the way down. Now, it's not going to be the longest video in the world. Some of this stuff is self-explanatory, like, oh, why is Onslaught a defensive MVP? I don't know, man. Bunch of resistances, and he sucks to fight. The first thing I want to go over is the Polka Dot Power. So this Polka Dot Power is going to grant you power for both buffs and debuffs. Or no, not buffs and debuffs, sorry. Both debuffs and passives. So a champion like Onslaught, offensively, those Neuroshocks are going to give him power. Compared to the Alliance War node where it's only debuffs and, it gatekeeps certain champs. This one is going to be for everybody that has, a damaging effect. Next, I want to, talk about the power shield of it all. We all know power shield. We all have fun, going through act content or, the occasional side quest or event quest where you're like, oh, hell yeah. Let's see what my mutants do. Let's see what Joe Fixit's bleeds do. Let's see what Kitty's special one does. Sadly, those two examples aren't going to be able to get to their special one. But it's going to put a lot of champs in a really interesting place. Someone like Deadpool X-Force, like I led the video off with, his special one bleeds are going to be fat, especially if you run deep wounds. He's going to be spamming those, all of that polka dot power. He might be a nuke. Someone like Morbius is just going to have to throw one special 2. That guaranteed crit is going to be disgusting. You look all the way through, the peak champs are champs that I think are going to kill in one special 2, maybe one rotation. Archangel, being the exception because his stuff is pretty much all DOT, but if you convert any Neuroshocks during a special attack, they should get boosted with the node, which would be disgusting. The great tier, I think, are champs that could get it done in one rotation or very quickly, or their rotation is, pretty solid and it's going to be pretty, consistent. Like a champion like Yondu is just going to have to throw special 1, special 2, and it's pretty much over. That special 1 bleed is going to be super fat. He's going to have bleeds on him the whole time, and I think he is going to be a very good champ. Granted, not a lot of people have Yondu ranked up, Not a lot of people have Gwenpool ranked up. Not a lot of people have a lot of champs on this list ranked up. But there's a lot of champs in that peak tier, whether it's DOT or Power Game, that people use all the time. And I'm super excited to see how they play out, in this meta. The niche tier, I just want to go over real quick. Useful is pretty self-explanatory. They're going to be fine. But the niche tier, a champion like Shuri, does a lot of her damage from basic attacks. Sure, the Vicious is going to boost her buffs and passives, or debuffs and passives. But, Belle came in late on me, sorry. So if you hear a cat purring, that's my cat. Say hi. She didn't purr, sorry. But her basic attacks, where the big bulk of her damage comes in, aren't going to be showing up in this. A champion like Guardian, you're wondering, how does he get to a special one? Almost every matchup he's not going to, but the most important one, Domino, he's going to have a shock on them the entire fight. And so he's going to be able to boost off of the node, and he's going to be consistently doing damage over time. The power gain list I want to note, because passive power gain still goes through on the node. I was doing the math with Adam Warlock, and I wanted to see, okay, he's not going to gain anything from combat power rate, but when he gets to that special 2, how long is that going to take? And my good friend who I was on call with, Bitter Steel, while I was making this list, just told me it's going to be 27 seconds. Cool. 27 seconds and you get that big ol' special 2. Maybe you opt for the special 1. Totally fair as well. Probably going to do nasty amounts of damage. I think he's going to be useful. But the stars of the show here are like Ghost. Ghost is going to kill in 1 special 2. Like, come on. Going to have some stupid fights. Hyperion, between the Incinerates and the power gains, I think he might be the most versatile attacker in this entire meta. Being able to switch between dealing with the, debuff controllers like Zemo, Kingpin, Chilth, Mantis, and opting for the special 2, or in generic fights just spamming that special 1. It's going to be interesting. Now, I know you're looking at this list and you're like, why the hell is Purgatory in peak tier? Well, you're going to have to hear me out here, because I promise you she actually will be peak. The Ghost Rider Relic plus the combat power rate not really mattering because of her power gains. Once she gets to that special 2, guys, she's just going to kill him with that degen. It's going to be ridiculous. Trust me, she's going to be cracked. I know that you see Purgatory and you're kind of like, what the fuck is he talking about? Sorry for my language. What the hell is he talking about? But I promise you, she's her. You go down to the niche Valkyrie, you're going to have to hit into block the whole time, which is fine. There's going to be certain times, like a Jessica Jones, where it's worth it, but I don't think I'm going to opt for it. I might not even put her in my deck, but I know some Valkyrie mains are going to really love that. Yeah. Defensively, it's pretty self-explanatory. I do want to call out that CGR is at the bottom. We all know why he's at the bottom, or why he's even listed, and it's just to stop Ghost. I want to go over to the more interesting one that I have incorrectly labeled with damage reduction and gameplay stops. That should be red, but I don't feel like redoing the screenshot, so just bear with me and bear with that. I think Capsam, Guardian, Man-Thing, like those are going to be the real MVPs. Not being able to throw special attacks, not being able to take advantage of certain loops, either Warlock's Power Drain, Thing's Protection, Capsam's Auto Block, Jessica Jones' Weakness, is going to be super interesting. They're going to be super valuable. Sorry, I had a burp. I don't edit this. I should edit this, but I don't have the time. Just ignore that little thing. But yeah, I think a lot of the power in this tactic is going to come from that little group of champs that just absolutely ruin a lot of these meta attackers loops. Obviously, the debuff controllers are going to be powerful, but as long as Ghost and Hyperion and Kushala and even Mephisto exist, they're not going to be running the show. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think a lot of this is pretty self-explanatory. If you have questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments. I'll try to answer every single one. I'd love to talk and answer every single one. I do plan to stream more in this meta. Yeah. As I sign off, I want to just thank some people. And yeah, so big shout out to DLL, who kind of inspired me to do this. We had some fun just theory crafting and talking about who we could use in this meta, who would be fun. And big shout out to Bittersteel, Rory, and Sarah Ghost for being on call and just chatting with me through this. Yeah, it was fun to make. Maybe I do this going forward for metas that I find at least interesting or more groundbreaking. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everyone. Take care. Just, let's have some fun. If you are still sticking around, let me know in the comments who you are excited to try this meta. I'm super interested to see if someone just pulls out a Mangog, rips to a special 2, and just destroys him. So yeah, take care, everybody.